What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. TommyDtv here. This is part 2 to the video I dropped yesterday. The link is in the description. Basically, what happened in that video was me and my friend Lila were, who was a lifelong childhood friend who I went to school with, and we had an addiction with. We were on our way back down to Kensington to get drugs, okay? And on our way home, she overdosed in the car. We copped the drugs, we were driving home, she overdosed. I had to wake her up numerous times, rubbing her chest, kind of hitting her, rocking her back and forth, really just panicking on the side of 95, flipping out beyond means, pulling over, hoping a cop wouldn't see me, trying to give her CPR, panicking, having basically no control over the situation. Luckily, I was able to get Lila to come back, okay? After numerous times of going in and out, in and out. And that's why when I show videos like Kensington in the background here, all the people in these videos nodding out, doing all these unorthodox things, I did every single one of them. That's why I tell these stories, so that I never, ever, ever have to live that way again. I get plagued sometimes into thinking that sometimes the world might be better off without me, and maybe it's better to wallow into existence down in Kensington. But telling stories like this, remembering what happened, and watching what is actually happening in Kensington, it helps me extremely. So Lila woke up, okay? And we were driving back to her house. And the whole time, we were arguing because she wanted to do more. She wanted to smoke crack. She wanted to do this. She wanted to do that. And in my addiction, I was extremely selfish. So the whole while back, we were arguing. It was volatile. And we had plans to stay together that night. Get high together, whatever. And I didn't want to stay with her. I was sick of the fighting, the berating back and forth, the screaming, the drama, the uncertainty, and really, to keep it real with you guys, I didn't want to share the drugs, and I had already taken some extra drugs for myself that I didn't want her to notice later. I always had motives behind my actions. I was a real grimy drug addict. So, we arguing the whole way back, back and forth, fighting. Over and over and over. And I didn't want to stay with her. So we had this big blowout in front of her house. And I took as much of the drugs as I possibly could. And I left. And on my way out, she's grabbing a hold of me, trying to push me back. And I pushed her off. Got in the car. And I left. And she called me a bunch of times that night. And I didn't answer the phone. I stayed by myself that night. And I got high by myself. Because I was a real selfish, secluded drug addict. There was times that I got high with other people, but you know what I'm saying? I was very selfish. So, I didn't answer the phone when she called. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't think about it. I didn't think about it, even though, I should have stayed. The girl had just overdosed in my car. Off the drugs that I bought. Drugs that she probably wouldn't have gotten. Because her tolerance, like I said in the video before, wasn't that high. She would have got regular dope. Or she would have... I don't know. I have a lot of guilt about what happened. And I worked through this with therapy. Because what wound up happening was, because I didn't answer... Not because I didn't answer the phone. But what wound up happening was, because I didn't answer the phone, I didn't talk to her that entire night. And I didn't hear from her the next morning. And I was curious about what was going on with her and everything, so I tried to call. over and over. You know, tried to call over and over, over and over, over and over. And I got no answer. I got no answer. And I just figured that, she didn't want to talk to me or she was mad. At least I tried to call, I could say. That's how selfish I was. That's how grimy on the inside I was. For real. Like, I got serious guilt about this situation because I got a call that night from her mother who, I had a pretty decent rapport with, pretty decent relationship with. And her mother told me that Lila was dead. Lila died. That night. The night that she was calling me over and over. She was by herself because she didn't want to call anybody and use drugs with anybody else, I was very irresponsible for leaving her by herself knowing that she had just overdosed in my car. And this is about as real as you're going to hear Tommy D get on this channel. Straight up. Like, I can't believe I'm actually even telling this story. I had told it once in the very, very beginning, and I could barely keep my emotions together. And because I seriously did blame myself. Number one, for getting the potent dope. Number two, watching her overdose in my car and then leaving her alone. So, and these things happen to all of us. And she is not the first very close friend or the first girlfriend that I lost to drugs or violence. I've had to deal with a lot of death. I've had to deal with a lot of loss. And this was one of my really, really, really close friends that died from fentanyl-laced, fentanyl/tranquilizing laced dope. Basically the xylazine dope that's in Kensington. Her tolerance wasn't ready for it. And she was by herself, so no one was there to wake her up. No one was there with the Narcan. And you would think I would have had the Narcan in the car. I never ever got caught without Narcan again. This lifestyle is ugly. And these are just some of the things that we have to live with after we get sober. So that's why when I talk about Bree and some of the other people that we see on AML and Morals Over Money down in Kensington right now using, the ones that do the interviews, I know the stuff that they're running from and the stuff that they're trying to numb. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of therapy and a lot of determination to have to live with that stuff sober. That was a really, really serious story. Rest in peace to Lila. God bless you. I'll always love you. I'll never forget you. I hope you guys got something out of this video, a little bit of awareness about the dangers of xylazine fentanyl, the differences with tolerance, and how to never leave each other alone. God bless you guys.